There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Imagineers Disney Podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Hello, Susie.
Hey.
How we doing?
How's it? Oh, good. How about you?
Doing okay.
Nice. Yeah. How's your week going?
So far, so good.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not going too bad. We have a little technical difficulties here before the show on both our ends. Susie is waiting.
I'm good now.
Waiting on her new computer.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Because of COVID and all that fun stuff, it's taken a little longer for parts and computers.
My laptop has to quarantine for 2 weeks when it travels internationally.
Yeah. So we will press on with what we have, and then I prepped for tonight's episode. Like,
that's a first. I'm just kidding. Matt's always way more prepared than I am.
I had video clips like ready to go, saved, ready to play for our subject tonight. And I came back onto the software that we use, the program that we use for our live shows, and all of the clips are gone. They're all gone. So we're going to do not all of them. I had a clip for every single one of these shows that we are going to be talking about, but we'll be just doing our top 3. So,
and those are the big ones anyway.
Those are the big ones anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll talk.
I mean, and YouTube exists.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't seen them, because I haven't experienced all of the things on my list, I guess we're getting a little bit ahead.
Oh, yes. So
do we want to talk about some news that spurred spoiler?
Well, you saw the title of the Tonight Show before we got into it. So let's talk about the big news and what kind of spurred on the idea for tonight's episode. Disney fireworks are coming back to Disney World and Disneyland. So Disney World will start on July 1st with, of course, Happily Ever After and Epcot Forever. Didn't see anything about Hollywood Studios with Star Wars Galactic Spectacular, but I don't know. And then Disneyland is July 4th for their stuff. So
wow.
Very, very exciting.
It is very exciting. This is, and we're even hearing, we have a couple of our agents down at Disney World right now, and they're reporting cast members saying, fill all available spaces. It's time to, Haunted Mansion, fill in the dead space, pushing people in, filling up the line. The line markers are basically gone. The world is healing. We're so close.
I am very excited to have fireworks back. I'm very excited to have, hopefully, character meets and stuff coming back. The one thing that I think I'm going to miss the most is the personal space. There is no reason whatsoever that you should be less than 3 feet away from me in a queue line.
It doesn't speed up the line.
It doesn't speed up the line.
Shuffling another 3 inches is not going to make, the ride go faster to get up there.
So I honestly wish we would keep the social distancing measures in place, and
at least in the ride queue,
everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, and the ride queue. Yeah, you stack on top. But yeah, the whole fill in all available space. I'm just like, no. Part of me
You
died
don't
on the
miss
inside.
someone sweaty being pushed into someone's sweaty back.
Yeah,
That's part of the experience. I think that was part of like Walt's Disneyland opening speech was the magic of being close to people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I'm not gonna miss that.
Real quick, I see Andrew left a comment on here saying he's actually has the flu and his wife's not doing well either, like doing some hospital stuff. So hope you both get better soon.
Yeah,
please.
sorry guys.
So, but sorry to see that, man. But wish you both the best. Hope you guys get well soon. So.
That is something though that I've really liked about doing this show over the years is like we have a good relationship and like legit friendship, even like, with our listeners and everything. Like even after the show tonight, we've got a patron thing and like this has just been a great community. So it's really good that like we can share that kind of stuff and hope everyone's doing okay.
We're all friends and a lot of you guys are our clients, but my motto is with anyone that entrusts us to take care of your vacation, I want to treat you the same way that I would treat my family. So to an extent, you kind of you're our travel / podcast family. So we appreciate you. So
you guys should be really honored is what we're trying to get at. I'm just kidding.
Humble,
obviously kidding.
Okay.
This is going to be fun.
Tonight's topic, we are doing the best Disney nighttime spectaculars. So when we initially talked about this, we're like, just fireworks? We're like, no, we need to throw in some parades.
Spectacular.
And I actually just thought of this. Since all of my video clips are no longer in front of me, I can't remember what order my stuff was in. So I'm going to wing it.
Nice.
As they say. I
would say my top like 5 or 6 are all pretty close for different reasons. But yeah. So we also, spectaculars, and we did not limit ourselves to Disney World. We looked at properties around the world because not around the Disney World, around the physical globe world. Because Disneyland's got some awesome stuff. Maybe some international shows maybe worth mentioning.
Yes.
We'll see.
I will tell you this, my top 3, none of them, spoiler alert, none of them are from Disney World. So.
All right. Well, that's one less person I have to worry about getting shoved into when we're standing to look at fireworks next time because Matt doesn't want to see them.
No. Let me preface this list by saying, there are more than 10 shows around the globe.
Oh, yeah. We're not just. Yeah. This isn't just an order. This is like all time.
Yeah. So all of these shows have some merit to them. Except for Susie's number 10.
I'll tell you why I picked this one.
Okay, Susie, start us off with your number 10.
All right, guys.
We very rarely ever share lists, but we were just kind of curious where everything was. So, and then I saw her number 10. I was like,
listen, I have a reason.
Okay.
My number 10 is at Animal Kingdom, and there's some cool little things they do at night. Was at Animal Kingdom. There's some stuff that they do at night that is really cool. They'll have like the little animated animals like crawl around the tree and cool stuff around the holidays that are projected up onto the tree. But my number 10 is Rivers of Light. And okay, I know it's not great. I know there's probably shows better, but I think Rivers of Light laid the groundwork for what we're going to get with Harmonious. I think the technology developed for Rivers of Light is going to play a much bigger role down the road, especially for the new Epcot show, whenever that is finished with those beautiful barges in the middle of World Showcase. But Rivers of Light, if you just wanted a very like chill experience for whatever reason, like, okay, it's okay. But for what it was at the time with the moving pieces. I think it's pretty, and I know you can be like, oh, Illuminations. I still think Rivers of Light was a little more technologically advanced. So I think that it definitely kicked off potentially some of the things that we'll see down the line.
I think we waited for it for so long that what they delivered was just kind of underwhelming.
There was a lot of buildup. That's fair.
And eventually they took out some of the better elements before
I know.
before just right before COVID. I think
Yeah.
it was the summer before they like canceled the show. Like it's not coming back ever again. They're starting over.
Which they should. Animal Kingdom deserves better, but I still put it in here because, like I said, I think that, and also for being like the first show and that kind of Coliseum thing that they built in Animal Kingdom, like I think it needs a little bit of just respect for what it represented more so than what it actually was. Plus, I didn't have anything else to say about Animal Kingdom, so
yeah.
I felt like it needed something.
Looking at some of the comments that are coming in, Disney Addiction says, I would put Rivers of Light at like 14. I'll one up you there.
I know it's not great.
14 plus like.
Leave me alone.
Andrew.
I already explained
Andrew
myself.
says, can't say it's good or bad. Never seen it. Well, it only lives in video now. You will never see it again.
If you want some white noise to fall asleep to, I recommend Rivers of Light.
Okay, so I will say its saving grace was the music. The
music is good, but it's still not like, it's not going to get you like magically hyped up. You know, like it's not very true. I don't know. Rivers of Light. Everyone leave me alone. I said what I said.
We had another comment from Kelly on YouTube. World of Color at California Adventures is amazing. Well, Kelly, stick around. That's all I'll say. Okay, so your number 10 was Rivers of Light. My number 10 is Wishes. So
I don't want to hear any crap about Rivers of Light making this list when you put Wishes at the very bottom. Like it was like it's on the list, but like
okay, so Wishes was a great show. Like I mean, it ran for a very long time, and at some point you have to advance. And I looked at this list and I tried to say, okay, did this show wow me? And I know where this is on your list, and I won't say where it is, just so that people don't turn us off.
If they're still listening after Rivers of Light and Wishes have made the bottom of this list, I'm proud of them.
So yeah, Wishes was a great show. It was the next step in the evolution of the Magic Kingdom shows, and it was great for what it was for when it was there, and it has a lot of emotional connection for a lot of people, and I understand that. It just doesn't have that strong of an emotional connection to me, even though I did enjoy the music. So
crap, it's gonna be stuck in my head for the rest of the night.
Well, we'll play the clip when it's there later in your list. So
that's much later on my list.
So yeah, Wishes number 10 for me, and we'll talk about Wishes later on when Susie says it.
Yeah. All right. Number 9, the Main Street Electrical Parade. Music is iconic. It's cool to look at. I mean, it's great. It's a great parade. The technologies that like, there's not much negative I could say about this, except, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, an evening parade is extremely inconvenient if you are trying to leave the park.
Right.
You have to plan leaving the park either before or, obviously after, but then you're waiting like 20 more minutes, and even no more than that for it to get from beginning to end because of the blocking of roads or walking all the way around. And depending on how long you've been there, or like for us, we were younger. Most of the Are we getting comments?
Yes, we are.
I see you making a sly face. It's good. And I know this is not a popular Disney opinion. I just think nighttime parades are extremely inconvenient. Now, this one was fantastic. There's nothing you can negatively say. I really don't think so about the parade itself.
Yeah, it's iconic.
But navigating, it's iconic. But navigating the park at night, again, when we were younger, it's not easy to do, and it's hard to time leaving your park when you're waiting in line for something, or like, I just don't. That was my only negative thing. It was like you would hear that music and you're like, crap. And then there's another song regarding an electrical parade that I'm hoping is not on your list, and that music just
Danny, says,
let's talk about this.
Y'all are forgetting the most important question. Is electrical water pageant a nighttime spectacular? Because I need to change my list. And the answer
Matt?
is yes, absolutely. It is a nighttime spectacular, one of the longest running shows at Disney World, like pretty much since day one.
That doesn't mean it's good. Is it on your list, Matt?
No, it did not make my top 10.
Okay, good, because it's so annoying.
Because I mean, it's not a top 10 show, but I still love it. I
hate it.
Staying
at Fort Wilderness or staying at any resort on the water, this thing is the most annoying little pageantry of all time.
Disagree.
I remember trying to sleep in the motorhome back in like the 1 or 200s and hearing this thing haunt my dreams as it comes over to the Fort Wilderness area. I hate it. Sorry.
Well,
I enjoy it.
Every time I stay at Fort Wilderness or the Wilderness Lodge or the Contemporary, sure to, especially if I'm in the garden wing of the Contemporary, go out, open the door and watch the parade go by. So,
all right, I won't be controversial the rest of the show, I promise.
And electrical water pageant being on these lists also doesn't justify Susie's wrong opinions. Says Danny.
Listen, 80% of my list everyone's gonna like.
Andrew has never seen it or heard it. So yeah, you can go find videos on YouTube, or when you do your next Disney trip. And if you're staying at a Magic Kingdom resort, it's really easy to watch. If you are in the Magic Kingdom area, like leaving Magic Kingdom at the right time, you'll be able to see it as well, because it literally
or the wrong time, depending on if you're in my group or not.
So,
all right,
I'll
be good. I promise. I'll behave.
Okay, so that was your number 9. We gotta keep going on this.
I know.
I'm here for 2 hours. Number 9 for me is Spectra Magic. I enjoyed Spectra Magic more than Main Street Electrical Parade. Again, I love Main Street Electrical Parade. I just liked some of the elements more in Spectra Magic. I loved the soundtrack for it. Fantastic soundtrack. I mean, Chip and Dale playing a piano. I mean, how can you beat that?
I don't know.
Or Mickey touching the what's the electric ball thing? That we did in like science class growing up.
That has a name.
It's
not just the electric ball.
Yeah, I don't know, the electric ball. So Mickey has one, and like it's timed, and like he touches it, and it like zaps and stuff. And then Chernobog was a super impressive float. If you've seen I almost said Fantasmic, Fantasia, his scene in that movie, with the volcano mountain, and then like he is revealed and he's this giant monster thing. So the float, the mountain is his wings like closed and then they open up into his
Yeah.
So it was just a really cool effect. I remember that. Really sad kind of what happened to that parade and how it was left out in the sun and literally dry rotted in the Florida heat. And
it happens to the best of us.
Then they dismantled it and made them into pins. So
also happens to the best of us. Okay. Number 8. You just mentioned it. Phantasmic.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that. Phantasmic has the elements that are good are very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
The boats at the end with the characters is, I love that. I love anything that brings characters across brands and different movies all together. That's great. The problem with Phantasmic, and actually one of these problems McNair mentioned on an episode when we talked about it. One, what does it mean?
There's no cohesive story.
What does the word phantasmic mean?
That's true.
And like that doesn't mean anything. But then yes, the other thing is what is the story? Because there's this part in the middle for like 10 minutes with Pocahontas, and then there's Mickey and like it's just all over the place.
Nightmare,
like
I get it, but I mean
it's a fever dream. But the highs are high. There's just not like a plot driving it, which is very unlike Disney. So normally everything they do has like story comes first. And Phantasmic, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but the effects are really good. And you will get wet.
Yeah, I agree. It didn't make my top 10, but I love the show. I love the music for the show, obviously, because it's part of our show. But there's too many disjointed things in it for it to be worthy of a, I don't know, top 10 for me. But I do love let's see, hold on. Fantastic Magic. Oh, well, he's just fantastic with Mickey. So Mickey is probably my favorite part of that show, on top of that at the very end of the finale. The finale is like the best part of that show.
Yeah.
And the show overall is better in Disneyland, as is most everything, but that's for another day. Number 8 for me, the now defunct, extinct Illuminations July 4th show, post show, which was called Heartbeat of Freedom. But so the fireworks barges that they use for Illuminations, this one actually had a name, and it was called the World War II barge, because the amount of fireworks that they launched off of this thing at the finale of the 4th of July show literally shook the ground. Like, shook.
Yeah.
It is the most fireworks I have seen go off at one time ever. It was just super impressive. It was always fun to watch, and especially once it was done, just kind of looking around at everybody else, and they're just like, "Oh, that was awesome." So,
yeah,
on July 4th,
definitely. Yeah, I wonder what they'll do, if they'll do any kind of version of something once Harmonious comes along. We'll see. All right, number 7, heading out to the West Coast for California Adventures World of Color. Again, I'm just a sucker for anything that just celebrates general Disney like history. And so, of course, the nod to the Wonderful World of Color and anything that has any resemblance of a Sherman Brothers song is going to make my list. It's so bright and happy, and Disneyland does water way better than we do in Disney World. Drastically. Now, that may change when Harmonious comes, but basically anything involving water at Disneyland really deserves to be pretty high on this list. But I love World of Color again for that really more like nostalgic nod.
World of Color will make my list, just not this far down. we will discuss this more later.
Gracious,
But
I got so much shade.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I haven't seen it in person. So I think that might did you see it when you were at Disneyland?
No, it was closed. It was under
Oh, you went in. Oh, okay.
yeah, I was
Aw.
there were two things closed when I went to Disneyland. One of them was World of Color and one of them was the Matterhorn.
Oh, that's just like
So
gut punch.
double whammy.
Oh, dang, sorry.
Quite all right. So wait, where are we? Number 7?
7.
I don't even remember what my number 7 was. I told you I had to like think through this. Of like while you were talking, I was going through my list again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm trying to remember what I had for 6 and 7.
Pretty sure it was
The middle of
Rivers
the
of
list.
Light.
I remember what it was. At least one of them. Hold on.
You don't seem very passionate about it. I'm surprised it's kind of that like, oh yeah, okay, on your list. What is it?
So it's actually another holiday celebration, and it's the New Year's celebration at Magic Kingdom. Again, with the perimeter fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the best fireworks show at Disney World during the year.
Yeah.
July 4th will give it a run for its money, but again, it's such a great show. The experience is hit or miss depending on your preferences on what you think about being close to people. If you like being shoulder to shoulder with people for 8 hours, because people start getting in their spots at like 2 p.m. for the stroke of midnight New Year's fireworks in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that this year. But now, since we're using all available space,
I don't know. Well, we're also projecting like 6 months from now. And literally, I remember thinking 6 weeks ago, gosh, I hope they take masks away before the 50th. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows what'll happen by December.
So yeah, go look up the video on YouTube of the perimeter fireworks for New Year's, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's awesome.
Good choice. That technology may make its way back onto someone's list in a little bit.
Getting a few comments. So Corey said, "World of Color celebrate is great." So World of Color is great as well. So yes, 100% agree. Danny says, happy. Matt's number 1 should be the giant figment destroying monorail lime above Spaceship Earth, and he's referring to the painting that I had commissioned, the artwork that I had commissioned.
That would be a very elaborate show, and then like overnight, Disney just like builds the monorail track back.
Jonathan Joseph says, I consider the monorail bar crawl at nighttime spectacular. Oh man, good stuff. And I think Trader Sam's is opening soon, hopefully. That's what they say anyway. So we will see. Polynesian's supposed to open back up in July, so you would think that maybe
yeah.
Time will tell.
New. A lot of stuff happening. All right. Number 6, Illuminations from Epcot. Just Illuminations. No extra tag. The traditional globe. And it took me way too long to get Illuminations. Nations.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. The music is, I know how Matt feels about it. It is very, 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 very good. The actual like barges part of the show, it's pretty straightforward. You know, it's not overwhelmingly technologically advanced, or there's nothing that just really stands out aggressively in my mind. But the fact that it ran for so long and it was just consistent, and like everyone knows Illuminations is really good, and so that's why I have it. I also like that it represents more of what I think Epcot is. I'm a little nervous about Harmonious because I also know some stuff that they randomly put into Epcot Forever. So I'm just wondering, like, can we not stray away from what Epcot represents? And I think Illuminations perfectly represented Epcot as a park.
So they've actually been running full tests on Harmonious. I don't know if you saw that or not.
No.
Yes. And
with the water and everything?
Well, no one's been able to see it.
Oh, they hear it,
and then they see the fireworks. They've been able to see the fireworks. The show is like 19 minutes.
Oh my gosh, are we going to get it by the 50th?
Maybe so. So we'll see. They haven't made an announcement yet. But the fireworks coming back, that would be a nice surprise for
that. That would be so much more of a treat than Ratatouille, which is basically all that we're getting right now.
Yeah. So
what I said. I don't have anything against Ratatouille, but it's like Tron was supposed to be done. No.
Guardians was supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Star Wars Hotel was supposed to be done.
Ooh.
Everything was supposed to be done.
Actually, I'm okay. I'm okay with that waiting a little bit longer because I need some more time to save my money.
Oh,
yeah, I need to take out another mortgage.
Corey corrected me, and thank you for that. They had a special World of Color celebrating the life of Walt Disney for 1 year, and you're right, because I now remember seeing the video of that. That's
oh crap! I can't watch that. I'll cry right now.
It's one of the great things about World of Color. They do a bunch of different versions. We'll talk about World of Color here in a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Where are we? Number 6.
6.
Number 6 for me. Paint the Night.
Probably
my favorite parade of all time. So it took everything great from Main Street Electrical Parade and Spectra Magic and really just up the game. LED lights and the floats are incredible. Mac from Cars.
Yeah.
The Monsters Inc. float, even Mickey's float, just the Toy Story float in it's really great. If you want to see a really cool parade, go check that out. There are videos everywhere online, but great soundtrack, but visually stunning. Like it is, that's the one parade that I wish they could send over here for us to have. Cause Main Street Electrical, between Main Street and Electrical and Spectra Magic, there pretty much wasn't a break between, there was no gaps with having a nighttime parade, and we haven't had one for several years.
How long?
Several years.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember when.
I can't either.
Like 17.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been probably 5 years, maybe something like that. So,
but I've heard that Paint the Night, like Mac in particular, can't make the turn somewhere along the route.
Isn't that ironic that the truck
too tall or yeah.
Oh,
but anyway, but who knows? I would take a modified version. I don't care.
Yeah. I'll just figure out when it starts and go get in line. I'm just kidding. I like parades. Number 5. Is this my first holiday one? So I have number 5 at Hallowishes / anything they do at Not So Scary Halloween. So there's a new fireworks show. Of course, there's Boo to You, the whole, I know, parades, just Not So Scary Halloween party. All of it. Love it.
I agree. I
talked about it a lot, and the last time, gosh, was it the last time they did it? 2019. Yeah. With the Haunted Mansion bride kind of like floating around on her little scooter, which of course you can't see because of the wedding. It's elaborate. And then the projection, of course, technology has taken everything to the next level. So, it looks like the castle is made of pumpkins and then like skeleton heads. It's really, really cool. And I think it's better than the Christmas party.
I'm all about that Hocus Pocus stage show. So,
yeah, I guess it's a nighttime spectacular.
It's pretty spectacular. So
spooktacular.
It's a lot of fun.
I hate that I said that.
Moving right along. Number 5 for me, Happily Ever After.
Yep. That's a good one. Couple people commented on our Instagram post that was their favorite.
Yep. So, I mean, it's a great show.
It is a good show.
And it was getting really difficult here, like picking. I could have flip-flopped 4 and 5, but 4 has a little bit more of a more sentimental, appeal to me. But Happily Ever After is great. Like for the people who say that it's worse than Wishes or like not as good as Wishes, it has a higher shell count on the fireworks. Just throwing that out there.
All right, Michael Bay. Some of us look at the whole picture. There's more than just fireworks.
Well, it has more visual elements, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because Wishes didn't really have any.
Okay.
So the best of both worlds with Happily Ever After.
All right, number 4, Happily Ever After. Because now it's time for Susie to give her opinion. Yes, it is a great show. It's a great show. I just mentioned before, the projection really brings everything together. You can, of course, extend what it's great. My problem with Happily Ever After is I don't feel like it flows as well as Wishes did, where there were very distinct portions of Wishes where it was like all the villains, and then it was more of the like I want songs, and then it was the kind of like sidekick songs. It was more like cohesive, and I think that Happily Ever After just kind of pops around a little bit too much. It doesn't like logically go into the next thing, in my opinion.
Structured. Because you have
you already had your turn.
Because you kind of have like the adventure side of things, like with Ariel and an exploration and Merida, and then you go into friendship, and then you go into love, and then you go into
okay, what you're describing is Wishes. It's the exact same thing, but Wishes did it better. Wishes did the overall flow of song better.
Happily Ever After didn't have it, and it does.
I don't think it really does as much. No.
Okay.
That's all. It's great though. Are you kidding me? I miss it so much. I really do. I'm so excited to see it. I'm going to cry when I'm like those fireworks, and then like a kid is so close to kicking you, and like I've missed this.
One of my favorite things, we go to the parks all the time, and when they did have fireworks shows, we've seen it a bunch of times, but it's always fun for me to kind of just like look around and see people, this is their first time seeing it.
Yeah.
Just by their reactions.
It's powerful.
One of the last times I saw Happily Ever After, I heard commotion behind me as soon as the show was done. And I turned around, and there was probably a group of like 25 like 16-year-old girls from Brazil. I think it was their quinceañera. I think that's what you call it. But they're all just like sobbing. Just like, blessed.
That's it. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
That's why we're there.
Yep.
Wow.
So good times.
All right, that was number 4.
Oh yeah, that was your number 4. Number 4 for me was Illuminations. So again, I could have flip-flopped these. I love the music from Illuminations. I think it's one of the best musically scored nighttime shows that Disney has ever produced, because it's all like original. And technically a lot of the Disney music is original, but it's really the only place you could hear that music. So it's not tied to an animated film or a live action film. This was designed for this park, for this show. And then the visual elements, although they were dated by the time, it ran for 20 years. So, but tying in, a lot of people don't know, when we've talked about it a little bit before, the torches that are around World Showcase. I'm back step just a minute. The show was designed for the Millennium Celebration for Epcot. So year 2000. The torches around World Showcase total 19. There are 19 of them spaced out around World Showcase. Each one of those represents 19 centuries. And the Illuminations globe that was in the lagoon for the entire show that opens up at the end for the finale reveals a torch, and that last torch is the 20th the 20th century. So it was a way to send off the 20th century, and of course it ends with we go on to the 21st century. So show design was very strong with that, and I've always appreciated it in all of its elements. So
yeah, it's got good symbolism, and I think maybe we'll do just a more like I don't know, some kind of deeper thought episode, because Epcot, that was the integrity of Epcot, and I think we're getting really close to IPs kind of destroying Epcot.
Again, they've tested the new show, and people have heard bits and pieces very faintly from a distance, and there are Disney movie songs that are relatively tied to certain pavilions in the show. So how much, we will find out.
Yeah, I say that, but when I see it, I'm sure I'm still gonna like it. But it's that's not really, I feel like, the goal of Epcot. All right, top 3. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You got visuals. All right, my number 3 is the 4th of July at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, I forgot you said Magic Kingdom. I thought you meant Epcot.
At
oh well.
Disney World.
4th of July fireworks. We do have visual elements to show for our top 3, so you can get to see why we love these things so much. So this one was actually on my list just a little bit further down, but
yeah,
Disney does holiday fireworks right, and it's a ton of fun. So we're going to watch the last few seconds of Heartbeat of Freedom. And I'm telling you, the ground was a shaken.
That's insane. It's like the Death Star explosion. That's unreal.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive.
I wonder what they'll do this year.
I don't know.
I don't feel like 3 days after fireworks are back, they're going to be full, like, panoramic and full barge full of, especially with Harmonious. I don't know how that setup will work, but I'm sure they'll have something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do, since it is going to be back for the 4th. Who knows? Maybe they have designed something. I would be surprised if they've added anything new, but yeah, I'm just going to be glad to have it back. So
yeah. Oh, for sure. All right. What's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is World of Color. I think it's so good. And again, who was talking about it? Corey was mentioning the different versions. So they programmed this to where they could literally switch out, because it incorporates water screens and water fountains. So I'm not saying it's easy to reprogram. Anything this large is not an easy task to reprogram.
Right.
But they have the capability to reprogram it for pretty much anything they want to do. And
without having dedicated to a big thing, like, again, the Harmonious barges, it's not that huge, massive, permanent thing. Yeah.
And they talk about it in the Imagineering story. It's designed beautifully. So you can change the colors on the water. You can change the video elements on the water screens. Yeah, and and that's why they have kind of the standard version, and then they have the holiday version, and then of course they did the one with celebrating Walt Disney that one year. So, but we'll watch the last couple of seconds here of the finale of A World of Color as soon as I hit share. Yeah.
Wow.
Insane. So, and again, like, I love Happily Ever After and the Disney World stuff, but like,
Yeah.
nothing they do is that impressive. So
No. No, it's not.
Yep. So yeah. So World of Color. I mean, it's great. It's a long show too. Like the thing's like 26 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's one of the longest shows for any nighttime show at Disney and in any Disney park. And they go through a lot of animation from the movies, and then it has that great finale, of course, with the pyro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. All right. Number 2. This is going international. Number 2 on my list is the Disneyland Paris show called Disney Illuminations. So, again, it's just really cool.
Well,
is this your number 1?
No, this is my
your number 2.
Oh, and
okay.
Real quick, we did have a couple of comments about World of Color. Jillian says WDW needs something like that bad. 100% agree. So, and then Kelly, who talked about World of Color early in the show, she's like, and you get really wet. Yeah, if you're standing in front, you are.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to get wet with Harmonious. I feel like if there's any wind, you're going to get wet.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So, Illuminations, which is the show in Disneyland Paris, it's impressive. It takes what we have with Happily Ever After, and I think takes it up a notch because they incorporate again fountains and water and color with the moat area around that castle.
And their castle is beautiful. I think that the details, and of course it's Paris, so it is more of a different culture and a different kind of view of a fairy tale. And I think that just adds to the overall aesthetic of the show.
Yep. And of course we do have a clip of that as well. So take a look at the last, the finale really of Illuminations in Disneyland Paris. Crazy.
It takes the best of everything we've already mentioned on this list and just puts it together.
Yeah.
The water, the projection, the fireworks, the music. Wow.
Yeah. Everything is just so vibrant and forgot to turn that off. There we go. Everything's just so vibrant. By the end of that show, they're firing on all cylinders visually and
And literally.
Great musical score. It's timed well with the fireworks. Yeah, it's really great.
All right. Number one.
What could it be?
Y'all didn't think I was going to do it, but I did. I saved Wishes for my number one. And I know we just watched probably the most like technologically advanced show, so this may seem like a step back. But think of it this way. New movies are great, but there's just something about the classics. The lightsaber duel in A New Hope isn't it's not something to look at. It's really boring, but that movie and the way it made you feel the first time you saw it stays with you forever, and it means more than all the flashy gizmos and gadgets. What? Who talks like that? Someone who really loves Wishes. That's who. So Wishes is my number one. I cried the last time I saw it, like many people. So I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, we'll play the last
what's gonna happen right now.
The last little bit here. Again, great music.
Yeah. I actually like the original part of this better than the original music in Happily Ever After.
Not bad at all.
No. Gosh, I love that. I don't know.
Again, it made my top 10.
Yeah. It's just it's more of an emotional connection, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. That's like an entire generation's first trip to Disney World, remembering Wishes.
True. So, do I regret having Happily Ever After? No, but I enjoyed our time with Wishes. It was a great show.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what your number one is.
You don't know what my number one is, do you?
No. I thought some of the ones you've already said would have been your number one.
Again, Illuminations was really close.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one I think that, before I say what this is, the music in it, because music is super important to me.
Mm-hmm.
The music in it is okay. Like, it's good. But it's not its strong point. And I think what it lacks in the music side of things, it makes up for in visual elements, both fireworks and projections, not just on the castle, but everywhere in the park. And I think that's what makes this show special, because no matter where you are, you can experience some portion of this show in a different location.
Okay.
And it is Disneyland Forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to pull up. So obviously I'm not playing the whole show. I did pick out a couple of things. Again, I had this edited to a nice short clip, but we'll jump around from one spot and then I'll show you the end. But what they have done projection wise on Main Street, and in this case on It's a Small World, and then over on Rivers of America, I hope that one day they would consider doing in Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
One, it would free up space and allow people who are in other parts of the park to be able to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share this and find the play button.
It's unreal.
It's so impressive. So yeah, the Tangled section's really good. Let me bounce around here. So the Lion King section, I'll show you just kind of how they hop around from different sides of the park. You saw a Small World, but they also do this over in Rivers of America. Where they do eliminations.
So smart.
Very smart. All right, I'm looking for the finale. Here we go.
Oh.
No! Don't you love that?
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
I was just sitting here literally tearing up because of Walt and Mickey. We got an ad. Oh gosh. That's insane.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So good.
There's my Epcot background.
Wow.
Well, there's our list.
There's our list. It's the first episode I've cried on. Surprisingly.
Gillian said, love that, and this one of my favorite parts of Disney movie, the lantern scene in Tangled. Yeah, it's really great. And they've been able to incorporate that in several nighttime shows.
Yeah.
Disneyland Forever, and then, of course, Happily Ever After. And then the first time they used it was in Celebrate the Magic, which was kind of their first little mini projection show.
I almost included that because I remember it would go before Wishes and then I think they would do it again later in the evening. Yeah, that really pioneered a lot of things. So I remember the first time I saw a castle projection. It was unreal. It's like, what?
And then Kelly said, I've seen that and had no idea they did it around the whole park. So cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why it's at the top of my list. It makes it accessible to more people.
Could you imagine seeing that projected on like Space Mountain?
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be really cool because there's like the big kind of flat white part. That would be really cool. There's really so many possibilities. No, there's really not.
Because the Small World facade in Disneyland is humongous.
Yeah, and ours is in the most narrow portion of the entire park. You can't crowd that up. I mean, they can't really do anything over the riverboat.
It's technically inside a building.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking anywhere. Because I'm thinking water, yeah, there's nothing.
Rivers of America, you could kind of do the same thing. Yeah, there's not really another place.
Wow, that's really sad.
The luxury of Disneyland.
Yeah. All right. Well,
that was a fun chat.
If this doesn't make you want to go to Disney, like right now, I don't know what else would.
Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney World. Yeah. So, and I'm sure I haven't really seen many of the shows that Tokyo or Shanghai have done. I've seen them before, but they don't stick out in my mind. And I think the Shanghai one's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But those were our top ones. So hopefully some of ours made it to your top list. We'd love to hear what your favorites were. Leave a comment in the comment section. Of course, you can find us on social media. Of course, we are on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. Just search for the Imagineers Disney podcast, and you should be able to find us. But we thank you guys for interaction. We had a lot of engagement tonight, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, guys. Make it more fun.
more fun engagement coming up soon this Friday for our movie night on Discord. Susie, tell them what we're watching.
We are watching. It only took us 2 weeks after it left Premiere Access, but we were watching Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, I went and saw this in theaters. I was blown away. I really was. The animation is like its whole separate thing. The story and the world building in this is phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of what goes into world building. So think like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, like Avatar, The Last Airbender, not the blue people. There's like the mythology around, I guess the blue people too, but like where you are. This movie, Disney takes that kind of quality and applies it to an animated movie. And it's spectacular. Kelly Marie Tran, very talented. She finally gets the recognition she deserves after being relegated to getting a pat on the shoulder in The Rise of Skywalker and having 20-something seconds of screen time. Yeah. So, but we're going to watch it together. If you've waited this long to watch with us, we appreciate it. If you've already seen it, please watch again because I can't wait to see it again and pick up on more details. The cast is great. Awkwafina is hilarious. It's a solid movie.
I purposefully waited to see this so we could watch it on Friday night.
Oh, I love it so much.
I'm excited to see it. So you can find our Discord channel in our link tree, both in our bios on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, I believe. So just click that link tree, and on Twitter, and click the link tree and see the link there is there, and you should be able to join our Discord community and come hang out with us on Friday night. We'll start right at 8:00 Eastern. We'll hit play on Disney Plus, and then we'll kind of watch the movie together and comment. It's a lot of fun. So
it is a lot of fun, and you guys are not going to want to miss this one for real.
For sure,
it's great.
If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do so, especially if you've enjoyed listening. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us by searching for the Imagineers Disney Podcast. And if you've enjoyed the show, please leave us a rating, tell us what you love, and give us some ideas for future episodes. We always take those into account. We got a fun one coming up here in the next couple of weeks that was recommended by a listener. As we celebrate the 4th of July, we are going to be talking about what could have been with Disney's America. The park.
Okay, because it makes it sound like Disney was planning like a tyrannical takeover.
The park. There was going to be another park, guys.
Yeah, Walt was not trying to do that.
That'll be fun. And then special shout out again to our patrons. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Stick around at the end of the show, patrons, because the top tier will be having our post-show monthly chat meetup. And we'll be talking about whatever you want to talk about. So if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by becoming a patron for as little as $2 a month. You get exclusive content and get entered into our monthly prize drawings as well. So lots of fun stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good.
We've lasted this long.
We provide some extra fun content for all of our patrons, but and
it's not always Disney related.
It is not always.
We go off the rails sometimes. It gets a little weird,
but it's a fun
other theme parks. Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff there.
But regardless, thank you everybody for listening. As always, we enjoy coming and discussing Disney with you every single week. We look forward to coming at you next week with another episode. But until then, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.